Hi, my name's Rob Thompson from Thompson Builders, and we're on the island of Martha's Vineyard today. We're at the home of Amy and Andy Heyward in Edgartown, and we're going to take a visit into the Gadgetorium.
Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget.
Hi, my name's Andy Heyward, and welcome to the Gadgetorium. I've been asked to share a few words with you about the genesis of how this came about. So I'm going to go back to July 20th, 1969, which was 45 years ago today. I was a young student doing a summer session in Oxford, England, and had the privilege and thrill to watch on television the landing of the first man on the moon. Walter Cronkite was the narrator of that, and years later I was fortunate to meet Walter and eventually have him become a voice in a children's television program that I make. I never lost my fascination for space, I never lost my fascination for science, and getting to know Walter here on Martha's Vineyard where he lived was a special thrill that drove home all of that wonder and magic that I witnessed 45 years earlier. Walter Cronkite lived here on Martha's Vineyard, so it was only fitting that my dream to create a telescope and observatory took place here on the vineyard. One of the many beautiful aspects of living here is that there's no ambient light from the city, so the skies get very dark and it's a perfect environment to put a telescope in. We went about finding the biggest telescope that we could put on the plot that we were able to get a permit for. So we chose a Celestron 16-inch reflecting telescope. We engaged a team from NASA to put all of the technology together for it, all of the goodies and tricks that we could imagine. And we went to who I have since learned to be the most ingenious, inventive, and capable builder around, Rob Thompson of Thompson Builders, to make this whole thing work. So we had the good fortune to engage Rob Thompson and Thompson Builders to complete this project for us. We began with a block and an empty structure on it with a dome. Nothing else there. The challenge was, how do we turn this into a magnificent viewing experience? Not just to use the telescope, because you could put a telescope in an empty space, but to make it an environment where we can have guests, we can have conversation, we can discuss scientific ideas, we can show videos. There's so many different facets to this. Rob brought a vision, brought a imagination, brought a ability to solve problems and to do something very, very unique and special. I want you to notice all of the beautiful milling in this room here. It's absolutely magnificent. It's the entire room going all around. Look at the bench work that you'll see. The bench itself was a challenge because we needed space, but we also need a place for people to sit. The benches fold up, they fit into the space, they can provide the wherewithal for people to move around the room when the telescope is being moved onto different places that we peer into the universe. The telescope has the capacity to see 3 billion light years away when being used with the right eyepieces and with the camera that we now work with. But you can't see 300 feet away if you're not able to move around and the room is ill-designed. So it was a big Rubik's Cube, and there were many, many different masters that needed to be served. We needed to serve the science, we needed to serve the convenience, we needed to serve the aesthetics of beauty, we needed to serve the practicality of how do you keep something like this maintained. We needed to be able to have an under surface where we put all the technology and yet not have that disruptive or affecting the aesthetics in any way. We needed to have the acoustics work because there's sound going on in here. And of course, all of the aspects of light, whether it's light coming from space or whether it's light coming from the large screen TV where we project images on. So Rob brought a vision, and he brought an ability to execute that vision in a practical way. It was done on an amazing timetable, it was done on budget, and I really have nothing that I could say other than excellence. You know, when people say to me how wonderful the Gadgetorium is and how much fun it is to be here, I have to tell them I'm just the moon reflecting the light of someone else who shines. And that was Rob Thompson, who created this.